Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to cover some news topics that have happened in the past few weeks. And to begin, let's first look at statistics. So we could see here that Kaspa is currently sitting at 15.75 cents. And our volume right now is at $97.5 million. Market cap currently sitting at 3.6 billion, and we have about 79.80% mined, almost at 80% fully mined here, and our hash rate is at 177 petahashes. Our highest hash rate was 186, and we're currently about 1 day 12 hours away from the next reward reduction in the block reward when there are miners mining new blocks. The current reward is sitting at 131 Kaspa, and our next reward is going to be 123 Kaspa per block. If we're looking at the top addresses, we can go ahead and see here that mainly in the past week, there's just been a lot of addresses that have been adding Kaspa, but in the sharks, we could see that it looks like people have been moving around funds and possibly selling. And I know for sure that some people are selling to get new miners right now. And I'm pretty sure people are wondering why Kaspa is not outperforming Bitcoin right now or performing well with all the other cryptos. And honestly, you just got to remember that Kaspa currently is not listed on all of the major exchanges. And typically, once a coin is listed on all those major exchanges, it will then follow the market perfectly. But since it's not the case, I'm pretty sure that there's just a lot of miners selling to possibly get some Bitcoin or to actually buy more miners to keep on mining Kaspa. And I can actually show you proof of that soon here. Next up we have is the supply not moved in over 3 months. And you can see in the last 3 months, we're still over 50% of the supply has not moved. It's currently sitting at 53.63%. In the last 6 months, about 35% of the supply has not moved, and inactive for over a year. It looks like it finally had a drop off at this 15% level and dropped all the way down to 14%, but is currently back on the rise, trying to get back at that 15% of the supply has not moved in over 1 year. And then looking at the 2 years, it's always just been going up so far and currently sitting at 3.15% of the supply not moving in over 2 years. This is a new metric that we're going to be looking at pretty much every single news video that I do cover for Kaspa, and it's going to be looking at the power law chart. And if you have not seen that video, go check it out. It's called Kaspa Price Being Predictable, Bitcoin and Kaspa Power Law. But this is a website where you can actually see the power law chart and see where it's predicted to be at. And you can see that currently we are sitting at the predicted area pretty much. Just currently a negative 3% difference, but it's pretty much predicting that tomorrow it should be somewhere around 16 cents. And we're going to put this out at least for the next 30 days just to kind of see where the power law is predicting the price to be, and just follow this and see if it's actually being accurate. So within the next 26 days or so, the future fair price is to have Kaspa at least 18 cents. Of course, this is not accurate, and you should not be following this to be precise and a way for you to determine when to buy your Kaspa, because this can easily not be always correct. If we take it out of the logarithmic scale, you could see this is how the trend line looks like, and there's times where Kaspa is completely under this trend line or completely over this trend line. This line is simply that, just a trend line, and it's just a trend of where the price could maybe be, but it's not where it is going to for sure be. So just be mindful of that when looking at this, but this is just something fun to look at and see if Kaspa will follow this power law going forward. Let's get into some news topics about Kaspa. So Kaspa got a new ambassador for India. So that's always good to see, because there's over at least 30 ambassadors now all across the world promoting Kaspa at universities and other events, which is always good to see for Kaspa adoption. Next is showing someone who recently sold Kaspa, and I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a time where Kaspa's price dipped very significantly out of nowhere, and this person said right here, that was all me to buy more KS3s, was 3.1 million USD. Some people don't realize that a good amount of Kaspa selling is into Kaspa mining investments. And this person said that seems like the wrong time to sell. And he mentioned here, yes, but Bitmain would adjust the price of the units accordingly and mining will only become more competitive. It's all self-adjusting to the price. So it really doesn't matter when you sell. In my mind, I should sell even more right now as break even to get capital, same amount of coins, back is only 6 months and the rest is profit. It's an interesting economy, but I welcome any analysis. So this is just one of the Kaspa miners who had recently sold their Kaspa to get more miners to simply continue securing the network. And recently, on February 26th, Bitmain released a brand new Kaspa miner, which is the KS5 Pro, and these things literally sold out within seconds. Like, people were complaining because of how fast they sold out. So clearly, Kaspa mining is still very popular. People continue to buy these machines to try to acquire more Kaspa as the supply continuously decreases month after month. There's just going to be a supply crunch because there's soon not going to be much left for Kaspa to mine. So this is still pretty bullish in the long run, seeing that miners are continuously being purchased because obviously people are buying them because they see future potential in Kaspa price appreciation. The next thing here is someone has developed a social Kaspa network for everyone to join, and you could basically make an account here, and it looks something like a Facebook, but it's just dedicated to Kaspa, and it's pretty interesting. I made an account myself, but it's called kaspa.oneearth.gr. The links to everything I show in this video will be down in the description to a Google document file where you could see all the links. But this is pretty cool to see that people continuously to develop things for Kaspa because they just simply believe in the future that Kaspa has. Next, we have here the official Kaspa Twitter saying setup is complete and the event is underway for a historic Kaspa meetup. And this meetup was done in Israel. And if you don't already know, the founder of Kaspa, Jonathan right here, and researcher Shai, and one of the coders, Michael, was at this event and they were speaking about Kaspa and future developments. It was all done in Hebrew and currently we are waiting for the translation in English, and I'll be sure to make a video about this meetup once the translation in English is finished and I am able to watch it, and I'll give you guys updates on what was said here. But from people that actually went to this event because they speak Hebrew, I was told basically Jonathan has said that he's finished his design with proof of work and he's pretty much perfected it. And now he's working on perfecting smart contracts, and pretty much he's just moving towards trying to prove it on paper like he always does, because Jonathan is mainly a researcher and writes documents, white papers. So we're going to see what's going to happen, but pretty much the MEV resistance is what Jonathan is trying to solve with proof of work and on Kaspa. Moving on to some more adoption here, we have Elper, which has been recently getting a lot of places to adopt Kaspa, or just been announcing places that have adopted Kaspa. But over here, it says this is the only restaurant serving Belgian and Flemish street food in Lapu City in the Philippines, and they are now accepting Kaspa. He has another one here saying it's already possible to enjoy some Korean fried chicken at Coco's in Omaha, USA with Kaspa. This person has recently been reporting a few places in the US now that have been accepting Kaspa. So it's always really cool to see these places start accepting Kaspa here. Next, we have news from Ice River. They recently released an exclusive KS0 Pro Kaspa edition going at $350. There's nothing pretty much different with this one. It's still doing 200 gigahashes at 100 watts, but it does look very, very clean. Now, personally, I'm not really going to buy this right now. I think I'm going to wait another month after they go out to possibly see the price on this decrease. Because personally, if I buy this, to me, it's more of a collectible than looking for ROI. The price currently of Kaspa is getting close to the point where buying these would be worth it, because you probably will ROI both in the dollar amount and the Kaspa amount. But since the price recently has declined, I don't think now is the time to personally buy one, unless you just truly want to get your hands on this to basically just have a collector's item. It will for sure make Kaspa, but currently, knowing the hash rate and the emission schedule always increasing and decreasing, this may not ROI in the Kaspa amount, and it may be better to just buy Kaspa instead. It's always a difficult thing to predict because there's so many unknowns, but personally, I'm not going to purchase one just yet. Next, we have another announcement from Ice River. They said, we are thrilled to announce our deep collaboration with Kaspa Funding to collectively drive the development of Kaspa ecosystem. So it appears to me that Ice River is a company that's going to focus solely on Kaspa mining, and they're just trying to basically be the best competitors when it comes to Kaspa mining and only help Kaspa development. If you don't know what Kaspa Funding is a community started project to start helping funding proposals for Kaspa through mining with ASICs. So if you have not checked out the website of Kaspa Funding, you can see here it says revolutionizing how crowdfunding is done in the Kaspa community. And if we go to currently the wallet balance, you can see that it's currently sitting under 1 Kaspa, but that's just because recently they were able to acquire a good bit of funds and donate it to the recent funding that was done back in February. If we go to the workers of this, we can see that the total hash rate of Kaspa Funding is about 2.55 terahashes, and it has been collecting Kaspa, which then later is voted upon where this Kaspa should go, which helps funds other events and Kaspa funding initiatives. Another milestone for the Kaspa currency Twitter page is the fact that it hit over 200,000 followers. So that just is always cool to see that Kaspa continues to get adopted in the media area. Also, Kaspa Currency recently posted that they're introducing Rock the Kaspa, which will be a monthly news and update series on all things Kaspa, development, outreach, and events, ambassadors, and more, hosted by UK ambassador at Spartan Wealth 7, Chris, and his brother Tom. And there's a teaser video that you can go ahead and check out on YouTube, which I'll also have the link down below. But this is going to be on the official Kaspa YouTube channel. And this is just a new event called Rock the Kaspa, which will give monthly updates, kind of like what I do here, giving weekly updates. But they'll just give monthly updates that will for sure be a lot more organized and probably a lot more cleaner in terms of editing. So this is cool to see, just something else to help with the marketing aspect of Kaspa. Next, we have a article here just proposing that Kaspa is one of the best altcoins to get under $1. It's always good to see Kaspa in articles because it just shows that Kaspa is getting attention and people will start to eventually see it. There's another article here written by Forbes.com saying 4 altcoins to consider buying for the next bull run in 2024. And once again, Kaspa was chosen as one of those coins to be promoted on these articles. So it does look like Kaspa is getting quite the attention. But of course, the exchanges issue is what's kind of hurting the adoption rate because we don't have all the exchanges. But I do have news on that very soon here. And to continue with some development updates, we have Caspium going to be having an NFC payment feature soon. And this user on Discord is the main developers of Caspium. And he says, I've given NFC payments in Caspium some thought, and I think I've arrived at a nice design. We'll try to make a demo in the next few weeks. So NFC compatibility with Caspium looks like it's going to be coming. I've also heard in the past that he might also implement Tangem with Caspium so that you can even scan your card on the Caspium app and see your balance instead of using the Tangem app, which will be very, very great for Kaspa because then that will give you an alternative app to use in the event that Tangem app is simply just not working or something like that. So that'll be very interesting to see in the future if he does implement this design. Over here, we do have an update from Nicholas Sismil, which is an ex-Binance researcher, and he actually gives a reason why as to possibly we are not seeing Kaspa on major exchanges. He says, a lot of people ask me about when Binance will list Kaspa. I'm no longer in the Binance loop, but I do know that if it were up to every exchange, they would have Kaspa listed by now. The issue is that it takes a long time to set up a node for a listings wallet team for proof of work and L1 coins, mainly because they have to conduct security audits of the protocol and its coin. This process can sometimes take up to 8 months. ERC20 tokens, on the other hand, can be audited within weeks as they are easier to work with. The tricky thing about Kaspa is that its tech is so revolutionary, exchanges have more difficulty auditing it, So it'll take a bit longer than usual. However, I have no doubt that Kaspa will eventually be listed on every major exchange, as its daily volume is a gold mine for any exchange. Hope that explains why Kaspa isn't on more major exchanges yet. He also does not mention the fact that Kaspa is fair launched, and it's much harder to acquire Kaspa for liquidity because these exchanges will have to basically just buy on the spot market. There is no allocations for exchanges with Kaspa, so it does just make it a lot more difficult. And I also truly believe that these exchanges are waiting for further developments of Kaspa, like Rust and a better just wallet infrastructure when it comes to desktop wallets. And I believe they're just waiting for these improvements to happen before they list on their exchanges. Not only that, this same person decided to post that his entire net worth is in Kaspa. Now, obviously, there's no way to fully confirm this, but for sure, if he's saying it, he's been active within the Kaspa community for a while. He's wrote an article about Kaspa. If you don't remember the blockchain trilemma article that was written months ago, he was behind that, and pretty much he has been very, very bullish on Kaspa, always giving some insights about it. And now he is claiming that his entire net worth is now in Kaspa. So it's interesting to see that people are kind of taking this play with Kaspa. Also, we got a new Perpetuals listing, which obviously a lot of people don't really care about, but just more futures listings for Kaspa. Truly, these exchanges want Kaspa, and I'm pretty sure futures listings do help with getting them liquidity as well. The last few things here I have are updates on developments, which will be very important developments because this is just getting ready for smart contracts and just more further adoption in the future. But Aspect, if you don't already know, has been behind the development of Kaspa NG. And if you have not checked out what Kaspa NG is, I have a video giving a full guide of Kaspa NG. It is a successor to the KDX wallet. So it's a new desktop wallet, but it's also going to be a brand new wallet for an extension on Google Chrome and also a new website wallet. So it's going to be very, very good stuff because it's fully written on the Rust coding language. Aspect says here the PR Tiram just made yesterday is the last part for mainnet migration. Once that merged, well, there's another. Plus, I have a huge PR coming up. After that, I need to spend another month working on the core Rusty Kaspa, and it'll be ready for mainnet. It already pretty much is. Already some major mining pools are running Rusty Kaspa. Then it will be the question of the hard fork. It will still be a while, but in a way that is around the corner. I expect this summer will be quite interesting. And I have said before that I believe 10 blocks per second is probably going to be this year. And it looks like summertime is the estimated time where we're going to be seeing Rusty Kaspa fully on mainnet, and then possibly 10 blocks per second coming very soon after that. Also, Kafin is behind developments behind a new extension wallet that is not Kaspa NG, but it's his own design. He's been building this for about a year, over a year now. But he's finally released it publicly, and he just says here, I just made Caspian code public on GitHub. Rest of the development will be public and hopefully solid. Would like to have some feedbacks and possibly bug reports. I'm probably going to be doing a video on how to go ahead and test this wallet so you can see this new extension wallet for Kaspa. But I have some pictures here of how it looks if you were using the Chrome extension through a tab, and if you were just to use the normal Chrome extension, this is how it's going to look. These things are very critical for smart contracts. If you've ever dealt with smart contracts, you know it's all about extensions. These extensions allow you to connect to websites to then allow you to do NFT purchases or to swap tokens on decentralized exchanges and all that kind of stuff. And Kaspa currently doesn't have these things. And this is why it's so important that these developments get finished and finalized and basically perfected before smart contracts come to Kaspa. I continue to say that Kaspa is building the best foundation in the crypto space to allow smart contracts to come in and be adopted. One of that is moving Kaspa to Rust, and then second of all is building out better wallet designs, making a brand new KDX wallet, making a few extension wallets available, just so that it's much easier for the masses to adopt Kaspa, because currently it's still difficult to basically adopt Kaspa because a lot of people are not used to the wallets that they have available. or again, like the exchanges are not available and all that kind of stuff. So just be sure that things are always happening in the background. Developments are continuing to move forward, and don't really relate the price action related to the fundamentals of Kaspa. So I hope you guys enjoyed this news update for Kaspa. If you stuck around to the very end, I seriously do thank you. Please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. And as always, if you have not considered getting yourself a cold storage device to hold your Kaspa offline, I do have a playlist here called Cold Storage Solutions for Kaspa. You can go ahead and check out that playlist and look at some of the alternatives you can have to hold your Kaspa offline and stay safe off of exchanges. So thank you guys so much for watching again. And as always, don't be average, be different.